Hello, beloved priestess. Welcome to day 4 of the Embody Your Priestess 4-day challenge to eliminate your shadow and rise into your power. Now, I just want to say thank you for writing the commitment statement because it takes a lot of courage to be willing to commit to the deep pause and to feel what's being triggered and to bring it inside so that you can own it and feel that responsibility, and to practice moving from compassion versus a quick reaction of pain. It takes a lot. That's why I call this embodying the priestess energy. Now, I believe that when you live in this place of authenticity, when you live in this truth, that you really activate the highest potential within you and you create these very successful relationships, not only with yourself, which is your foundation, but with others in your business, in your lives. And that's how we thrive. That's how we come into places of community and into heart-centered awareness. So, in Unleash the Priestess, we talk about the victim, we talk about the martyr, we talk about the perpetrator, and then we talk about the rescuer. And this shadow work is one framework that I work with within those programs, overlaid onto many other frameworks, one of which is the chakra system. So a lot of this information we talk about when we go through first, second, third chakra, even fourth chakra, these places where we're embodying our energy in this physical manifestation, this physical form. And then we start to talk about the upper chakras, these more spiritual concepts. But this shadow work comes in and threads through the entire program. And really, it boils down to this first feeling of woundedness and how we identified this ego. And we felt separated. We felt like we were separated from love. So when we have that separation, often there's this tendency to want to prove now that I'm not self-deficient, but that I'm a good person. I want to prove that I'm a good person, because you are a good person. And you're like, I know I'm a good person, but there's this separation. There's this duality happening. So this tendency to want to help others, to prove that I'm a good person, is what we call the people pleaser. And this is also called the rescuer. And this ends up being another form of the ego identity. It is the person that serves from a place of needing approval or pleasing versus true feminine power that's coming from service from the heart with no agenda. And this is a tricky place, I think, for a lot of healers because we really have the intention of giving. It's true that we want to do that. We want to serve. And there's also this like sneaky back door, like sneaky energy, this shadowy energy that comes in sometimes. And it's like, I'll do this because I need to do this. Like there is an agenda. And the rescuer often lacks boundaries. It focuses outward to prove itself, to prove its value because of that self-deficient image of itself and that need to prove or please. Now, in this identity, you end up needing to control, because that helps you feel safe. And if you're in control, then it also gives permission to others to not show up because you got it, girl, right? Like you end up enabling people, and there's a cost to that enabling. You end up managing everything and people give up their power to you. In some sense, there's a distribution of power where you're trying to take power because you need it. And you're starting to manage everything for everyone out of fear, really, fear of being unsafe or fear of letting go, like really letting go and trusting that other people are going to show up and help you, right? So if you find yourself in fixing and solving or trying to help overstepping your boundaries, even beyond feeling in alignment with yourself, that's rescuing. That's saying they're more important and controlling all of this is more important than actually being with myself and helping myself. So there's this cost of rescuing, and it shows up as really overdoing and then not taking care of oneself. Rescuing others. So I want you for a moment to really feel like taking the focus off of others for a moment going inside and sharing a positive, healthy boundary with yourself. Like really feeling into this right now. What's a positive, healthy boundary that I could create that would help me feel empowered? Keeping it focused on yourself and in present tense, because it's like already done when you start to really commit and focus to this. So I'm just going to give you some examples, and maybe you can locate yourself in this. An example would be, maybe I overdo for my family and I do too much and I'm always constantly doing. The last one is me, right? So your statement could be, knowing that I'm going outside of myself and I'm overstepping and I'm over controlling and I'm overdoing. That's not part of the statement, but knowing that you're doing all these things. The positive statement could be, I practice self-care daily. Another powerful statement could be something like this. I ask for my needs to be met in a loving way. How about I stay focused on my own energy? Or I move from a place of authentic alignment. And I have one more example. I take pauses when I need to. So these are all like boundaries really for you to keep your awareness and your focus on yourself. And it keeps you out of perpetration, it keeps you out of victim, it keeps you out of overstepping your boundaries and rescuing others, because it brings your energy back to you. And it creates a really powerful statement for yourself to stay engaged within your own energy. To serve yourself, right? Oxygen mask on first, then I help. And when you do that, then when you're feeding yourself, and you all know this, it's like the cuppeth runneth over, right? Like because I'm giving myself so much good energy, then I have more to give. And I'm serving not from a place of pain and agenda or lack or separation, but from a true place of honoring the best in me, which then I can give the best to you. Deep breath. So please share this very beautiful boundary statement with all of us so we can feel you, hear you, and really embodying that priestess energy. And thank you so much for engaging in these 4 days. We'll be doing a closing ceremony, but I'm so grateful that you came into this to let yourself embody that feminine power and illuminate the shadow within you. Namaste.